Hello everyone, welcome to God Government Ministry. I just want to let you know that fear is an illusion, okay? And it's all in your mind. I know that everybody believes that fear is real, so it's something that you can touch, it's something you cannot overcome. Some of you actually go and check yourself into mental institution because you are so afraid of somebody coming to kill you, or you're seeing ghosts or monsters. Well, just I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Well, you created the fear. It have been in your mind all this time. It has always been there. And I know that everyone else you have met or spoken to have given you the impression that it's okay to be afraid, you have to deal with your fear, or that fear is a normal, thing to happen to someone in this world. Or everybody have their fears and it's okay. Some actually advise you to ignore the fear or deal head on, like attack your fear, or just learn to live with it. Okay, so I'm not going to give you any of those advice. My advice to you is this. It's all inside you. It has been inside. It's you. It's you. In this world, it's always you versus you. Once you get to find out that everything is you, pushed out, you realize that the fear which has plagued you for a very long time has actually been manifested through your own mind. Because you conceive this idea that there is fear, there's something to be afraid of, or something that is greater than God, or there's another power that's greater than the power of God, automatically it takes root. It manifests. It has a life of its own. Because whatever you believe in, harden into fact, it must manifest. So you created the fear, and the fear took a life of its own. But all this while, it's still you that is the fear. So how do you solve this problem? How do you end fear in your life? How do you end the siege and move on to become a solid person, to become fearless again? Well, it's very simple. The same way that you use in creating the fear, you can also use that same way to eliminate the fear. What do I mean? What I mean is that basically you created the fear by conceiving the idea that there is something to be afraid. Conceiving and believing that there is a power, another power besides God. So all you have to do is to say and believe. Tell yourself, there is only God in this world. And that God created me in his image. That God is inside me. And for that reason, there is only the power of the living God in this world. And God has no fear. He does not terrify us, neither does he share fear or convince us that is fear or make us believe or fear him. The only thing he advises us is to love him, love God, love thy God, and love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. So basically, fear has nothing to do with God. Anytime anyone is beating fear or creating fear or acknowledging any kind of force or spirits or deity or demons or anything that he or she cannot solve, and then God that protecting him or her cannot resolve for him or her, that person is creating to God. And remember what he said by God. He said, "Thou shalt have no other God but me." What it means is that you should not acknowledge any other power that is greater than the power of God. Any other power that God cannot overcome for you, or any other power that you yourself as the image of God cannot overcome. So basically, all these people on earth who have been going around carrying fear on their shoulder, having this fear of death, having the fear of losing their loved ones, having the fear of losing their job, having the fear of not having food to eat, worrying about everything, they have been wasting their time and confusing themselves. The whole movement you saw, all the demons that have been plaguing you, every monster that have been hunting you, you heard noise, the ringing in your ears, all those imaginary things that have been happening, it has been you imagining them. And there's a way you imagine things or think of something or believe so much in something that does not exist, you just give birth to it and it's to start existing. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about that the fear that had plagued you for years now is you. You convinced yourself that there is another power beside the power of the living God. You convince yourself that there is someone that wants to kill you. You convince yourself there is something haunting you, and automatically you give back to it, and it has been haunting you, following you. So what am I saying? I'm not saying that the fear is real. I'm not saying that demons are real. I'm not saying that problems and worries are real. What I'm saying is that you can make them real. You can make them seem real. So I know that many of you are complaining about all these issues. So what am I saying? I'm trying to help you overcome. And the only way to overcome fear, demons and monsters that have been plaguing you, is to let you know the source of your problem. Because God says that from the moment you realize the source of your problem, that you have found a solution to that problem. The solution has come. So what I'm trying to teach you is to focus on who is behind all the fear, who is generating the problems, who is causing the stress. Is you. Okay. I'm not going to pretend, because all of us, what we do, we spend our time blaming everybody else, blaming all forces outside of ourselves, blaming the monsters and demons and Satan for every ill that we experience on earth, not even spending a second to glance towards us or in our reflection on the mirror, or even to look deep within our heart. How is Satan running my life, or how is the demons controlling my life, or how are problems plaguing me, or how are challenges? Why do I believe in all these things? Because we have convinced ourselves that there is a power outside of God and a power outside of us that is greater than us that we cannot overcome. So we gave birth to this idea. So just as we gave birth to the idea, we can overcome the idea by deleting it completely. I'm not saying just box it. No. What I'm saying is, just as you have conceived that there is fear or something to fear, and it manifested, okay, and have been chasing you, just say, there is nothing to fear. There's only God in this world. There's only one power. And this God is more powerful than everything. Fear is not more powerful than my God. So from today, I believe God. I believe only God. I'll focus my mind in my God, and I will talk about Him. I think about Him. I will eat with Him. I'll live with Him. I'll walk with Him. I will accept only Him. I know that even if there is anything that is fear in the first place, that God that I worship will never allow the fear to harm me. So I'm no longer afraid of you. You look whatever you have created as fear, or whoever is acting as that fear, you look at them in the face and say, go away. My business with you is over. I'm no longer afraid of you. I only see God. I love God, and God loves me. So you cannot harm me. I'm moving on with my life. I tell you, get out. You move them away. You delay them. You say, listen, you don't exist. I don't care even if you are just here. You are not even really an illusion. You are just a product of my mind. Just as you're a product of my mind, I can delete you. So I delete you now. You don't exist. You don't exist. You keep telling them whenever it comes up, whenever the thought, because most of these fears and worries and anxieties, they are actually in your mind, and they come up in your mind, negative thinking. That's what they call it. So basically, the only way to delete negative thinking is to just tell it to go away. Tell it that it does not exist. Assume and say it. Affirm it. Believe it. Some people do affirmation. Some people do prayer. Some people just command. Some people just stay silent. I like the idea of silence. You stay silent. When the thing is happening, whatever is happening, whoever is happening, even if you have people or relatives around you, your friends, who still believe in fear or live in fear, you have to talk to them. If they cannot change, if they cannot believe that there is nothing to be afraid of, you have to cut them off. Cut them off for the duration that they are living in this fear. Okay? That way, they will not infect you with their fear. You stay far away from them, and you pray for them. You bless them. You meditate on their behalf, and you send them the spirit of fearlessness. God is the spirit of fearlessness. You send them faith. Each time you have any contact with them, make sure that you speak to them about having faith. Encourage them and give them testimonies. Show them proofs that there's only God in this world. And there's only one power. That power is the power of the living God. And as long as there's this power, there is this God in this world, that nothing else exists. So they don't need to be afraid. They just need to focus on this power of God, the Most High God. Make them understand that that power of God is inside them, within them. So as long as that power is within them, all the things that they feared will never come to them. So no need for them to fear. Ask them this question. When was the last time that your fear have ever solved any problem for you? When was the last time that you being afraid or worrying about things brought a solution? They cannot answer that question. So what I've found out from going into myself and remaining calm, praying, meditating, is that if you're calm and you believe that there's only one power in this world, whenever you're faced with any challenges or whatever the world call it, you will take it to that one source. And that one source will always solve the problem. Before you even take it, it's already done. Okay? So by you believing in just one source of power, and that power is you, it's inside you, it's around you, it's everywhere, it's in everything and in everybody that you meet. By believing in this, you see that you will never have problem. Even if you have problem, you will not be afraid. And as long as you live this life this way, all things become possible. Everything you have ever wanted will come. No matter how long it takes, because there are people that you're dealing with. You're not just acting alone. In this world, it's not easy to get by so fast. Why? Because there are so many people who live in fear. There are so many people who are stressed out. And even if you want to run, they might just run across and you bump into them and it slows you down. It's okay. It's part of life. It's training. It's teaching. Okay? Don't see those things as problems. Don't see them as difficulties. Don't see them as challenges. Do not see them as the end of the world. Just see them as one of those things. It's nothing personal. I always say it. It's nothing personal. It's business. Life is business. Okay? So life, when it hits you down, you get up. The people that make it in this world are people who know how to wake up, who know how to get up. Even if they are knocked down 1 million times, they get up 1,000,001 times. And then they stand on their feet. So fear have been plaguing you. The best way to counterattack is to delete the fear. Find all the sources of your fear, gather all of them, and tell them bye-bye. Tell them they're not real, that you are the one that created them. Just as you agreed that they exist and they started existing, that today you have disagreed with them. You see them as nothing. They are, illusion. They are created by you, imagination. So you say they don't exist anymore. Automatically, you see they fall apart. They fall off. They will disappear. The after effect, the things that they have damaged for you might take a while, but eventually you get a hold of it. Everything will be correct. Everything will be revised. So I'm so grateful to have been given the opportunity to talk about fear, because fear is something that, it has so corrupted the mind of many on earth and things in this world, created so much chaos and confusion on earth that I know it might take a while to really brainwash all of you out of the brainwash that you brainwashed yourself. But remember that everything in this world and everyone you're talking to is always trying to brainwash you. Even yourself. You have brainwashed yourself. So what everybody's trying to do is trying to re-brainwash you so that you can believe in what they're saying. Now, what I implore you to do is, I want you to go through all the programming that you have been going through. The one you did to yourself, the one everybody else is doing to you, and just compare notes. If you think that something serves you and is good for you, or the person is saying the truth, buy the idea. If you don't think that is good, or the person is not saying the truth, walk away. So what I'm saying is this. Well, I have kind of reprogrammed your mind now to believe that there is no fear. So my advice is, start immediately focusing on yourself. Start immediately knowing and believing that there is no fear. There's no reason to be afraid. Accept it, and then you become it. It's the end of the story. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mes yeux au jour, mais mon front n'est pas, mon souffle est chaud, mais mon front n'est pas chaud. Est-ce que j'ai de la fièvre? Non, j'en ai pas. Dis-moi pourquoi je sens comme ça. Dis-moi si je ne pourrai jamais. Je me sens comme un tsunami. Je me sens comme un ouragan. Je me comme un tsunami. Je sens comme un ouragan. Je sens que je peux voler haut, flotter tout le long. Je sens que je peux flotter tout le long. Je me sens, je me sens, je me sens. Je me sens comme un tsunami. Je me sens comme un ouragan. Je sens que je peux voler, flotter tout le long. Et bien, flotter tout le long. Je sens, je me sens. Je sens que je suis ici pour